Hello and welcome to Career Spotlight series hosted by the Flint Genesee Education and Talent. I am Brianna Scott, Program Coordinator, and in this series, we introduce you to local professionals and give you an inside look at different careers right here in our community. So today, we are so excited to be joined by Ken Thompson, who works as a Senior Associate Director of HVAC at Dorsey College. Thank you so much for being here today, Ken.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So, just to get us started, let's go ahead and, if you can, would you mind introducing yourselves, giving us your job title and where you work?
Yeah, so my name's Ken Thompson. I'm the Senior Associate Director at Dorsey Colleges. We actually have multiple locations throughout Eastern Michigan. I kind of provide oversight for those, for the instructors, and kind of build our program curriculum. Outside of that, I'm a 10-year U.S. Army veteran. I served in the infantry. Also, I'm a licensed HVAC contractor.
Thank you so much. So, what inspired you to pursue this career in HVAC?
I think really where everybody gets inspired from, just like the hands-on, the whole portion of just, it's not really just a job you have to think and do. It's also at the same time you have to provide some kind of excellence or skill behind it. And that really opens a lot of doors for you, especially in this trade because HVAC kind of spills over into other careers such as like electrical and plumbing. So you kind of get a foundation of really all the blue collar jobs. Really at the end of the day, it's just the hands-on mostly. And again, the problem solving that keeps you kind of going and keeps it kind of interesting and fun.
Wonderful. And I know we're throwing out the term HVAC, but do you mind giving us a little bit more about what that means and actually what that entails for those students listening?
Yeah, so HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And also sometimes you may see a truck drive by, it's got an R at the end, and that stands for refrigeration. So there are many specialties throughout this field. And within these specialties, there's about 1,000 different directions you can go. So HVAC is not a really tunnel vision career. You can kind of go wherever you want with it.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, since we're talking about this, let's talk a little bit about your journey. So, can you share with us your journey from high school to where you are today?
Yeah, so high school, kind of really what got me into the hands-on is I did an auto class where you kind of just fix up cars, you paint them. It kind of got me that real feel of careers where you can get your hands dirty, which I really enjoyed. Outside of that, again, I did join the military right after high school, and I spent about 10 years there. Um, Mainly that journey was a lot different. I'm sure everybody would expect the military journey to be a little different. And that was, very hands-on. Again, I was an infantryman, a lot of combat-related things, but everything involved thinking and pressure. And on top of that, again, being excellent in everything you do, especially physically. So that kind of put me in the place of when I leave the armed forces that I want to do something involving, hands-on, having to think and also, apply that troubleshooting and kind of like that pressure area. Because again, under me, I kind of like the whole pressure thing. So after I left the military, I went to HVAC school, and HVAC school kind of opened my eyes to how many things you can actually do within this career.
Mhm.
And surprising enough, I thought I was going to be fixing air conditioners in someone's backyard. And now I'm directing schools and colleges. And, it's really, there is no cap to what you can do in this career. You can continue education for others. You can build yourself, build your own company. And if not, go into any specialty and move anywhere you could possibly want.
Amazing. So you just made a good point too, how initially you thought you would be working in someone's backyard, but as you were saying, the spectrum is broad. So even if working in a large corporate facility or a hospital, their HVAC techs are everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely everywhere. And you need it. Again, nothing we have today would exist without HVAC. If you really think about it, medicines, food from farms, living comfortably, if not living at all. But again, like the Industrial Revolution, everything would have never happened without, HVAC ever becoming what it is today. So it is a vital source in what we do every single day and how people live every single day.
Thank you. And one thing I do want to ask too, because some students, maybe they're not interested in college, maybe, picking up a trade. So, how long is this program typically for students?
So if you go to a trade schools are typically, I'm going to say anywhere from 9 months to a year. I know Dorsey College for sure is around a nine and a half month program. And you can also do kind of like an extended course where you do 2 years, where you're going to have a lot of lecture and study and hands-on, but it takes it a little slower. The good thing about trade schools is the fact that you'll get a year of hands-on experience prior to the other student who would still be in the classroom for that year. And that will actually excel you much quicker.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. So, in this field, what is a typical day like for someone working as an HVAC tech or just in this career?
Early mornings typically. So in those mornings, you're going to do everything from calibrating your tools to stocking the truck to picking up supplies, getting your dispatch ready, see what your job is for the day, where you have to be located, where you got to be. So you really have to be good with time because overall, you have a lot of things to do before getting on that job site. Going throughout the day, depending on what area and what specialty you're working in. If I use, let's say, a residential installer as an example, you might be on one long job that might take you 12 hours to complete, replacing furnaces, water heaters. You can do air conditionings, duct work, humidifiers. It's really endless. And then you also have like service departments where you were scheduled for 5 jobs in the morning and you kind of went through them quickly and now you have 9 jobs for the day. So you get there at 7. Sometimes you leave at 10 p.m. Sometimes you get to leave right on time, maybe a little early in the slow season, but it is a career that will keep you busy every day. And that's usually what, everybody likes. You're not really fighting the clock to leave work. You're kind of racing the clock, which also makes time go by quicker.
Wonderful. So you mentioned a very key and important skill when you said time management, which kind of gives a good segue to my next question. So I know before you mentioned having those hands-on interests and skills, but what other skills and qualities are most important for that role?
So overall, again, like we mentioned, time management is a huge one. Professionalism and soft skills, that's an absolute, especially when you're dealing with customers. Again, you're in their comfort area. You need them to understand that we want you to be comfortable at the same time. Again, being good under pressure, because with the time, kind of being your enemy at some points, you have to know how to do the job and when to ask questions. That's usually the most important part. Is sometimes self-confidence can blind you from asking questions, but overall, you just really need to be confident in yourself. You have to work for what you believe in. And I'll always say this, that if you're going to be in a job, you need to enjoy that job, or you'll never actually learn anything from it.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much. And all those skills can really be exercised currently for those students that are in high school and beyond too. So that was a good point. And you did mention, of course, be having a job that you really enjoy. So for me to ask you, what do you enjoy the most about working in this field?
Truthfully, I get to meet new people every single day, which is great. Uh, you know, some days are better than others, just like any other work day. But
Mhm.
I just like the fact that it's never always the same. You're always at a new house, new location, new problem. So you're always learning. And again, that excites me as I get to learn something new every single day. There is no real cap to this job industry. You can kind of do whatever you want with it, all the way to starting your own company. And again, I think what excites me again the most is the fact that you can really do whatever you want with it. There is no straight path. You can kind of veer off into something you enjoy more than others, and you can kind of find your path as you continue to, maybe install or do service or maintenance somewhere. But again, you'll find something you love, especially in this trade, at some point somewhere.
Nice, thank you. So, for someone that's interested, I know we briefly talked about the education aspect, but what other type of education, training, or certification can help someone get started?
So typically, like I mentioned earlier, trade school is a pretty big one. Typically, that's where you would want to start. You have to have some kind of fun foundation of the fundamentals. Again, it's kind of like walking into a job, and you have to start somewhere. So
Mhm.
trade schools will allow you to build that platform to create that basic understanding of what you're trying to do, and from there, that's when your career would really escalate. You learn more in the field. You kind of build onto that, and again, when you veer into the path of the specialty you're going to want or like, that's where you can really, build those building blocks.
Wonderful. Thank you. So, for anyone that's listening, maybe who are interested currently, maybe ninth grade, 10th grade, 11 or 12, are there any classes or clubs or any part time jobs that you would recommend for those students who are interested?
Yeah. So there's actually quite a few of them. You can even just go to like local, I forgot what they call them. They're more of like a hands-on shop. Some of them are actually free for students. It just kind of gets them to want to be in the trades. Skills USA is a big one as well. Mostly it's, finding your passion and what you actually want to do. But again, trade schools are definitely going to be that one, considering if you're about to graduate. Some colleges let you in a little early. But again, uh, trade school is going to be usually your overall best one right out of high school.
Thank you. I know currently in Genesee County, we have the Genesee, the Career Institute for those who are interested in those specific type of trades. So, what is something that is interesting happening in your industry right now?
So we are going through a transition. It's more of like a environmental friendly efficiency transition. And what that means is there's new refrigerants and new technologies coming out, especially with like the going green era. So everything from systems running off solar panels to finding geothermic ways that we can heat and cool different houses or equipment. And again, with all these new technologies and everything kind of coming out, it's a big excitement, I guess, for the industry because we get to learn something new again. Like I said, every day you're learning something new. And plus, that opens an entire new chapter to the HVAC industry. Like I mentioned, there's multiple paths. This just creates another one. So it's really never ending in this career.
Good. So you can see this being a long sustained career field for those who are interested.
Absolutely. Generation to generation, this could go forever, honestly.
Perfect. So I know you talked about some new things in your industry. So what opportunities do you see for future careers in this field?
So again, with the new changes in technology, engineering is a big one. So, helping create these new conditions and standards for the field. Also, new system designs that are coming out, especially with like solar panels and everything else. There's a big field when it comes to creating engineering. There's also, the technicians who are going to get that equipment. And so we have to also learn how to install them, how to properly maintain them, and also how to fix them when they go down. So again, the exciting thing is that you can, really follow up with whatever's coming out now is going to be the next big thing in HVAC, which could be tomorrow, which we don't know until 8 o'clock in the morning. So you'll learn something new, if not the new changes every single day.
Nice, nice. So taking a step back, so looking back over what you've done so far, what advice would you give to your high school self?
Oh boy. So I'm sure, if anybody's watching this from high school, there are times to have fun. There's times to take school serious, which should be all the time. I was a kid once. So I would let myself know, take school seriously. I'm not saying I didn't, but in high school, it's a different feeling because that's going to make you who you are in the future more than anything. There are friend groups, there's hanging out with friends, but there are times when things should be more important to really mold your future. Also, some subjects might not seem like I'm never going to do this in my life. Those subjects surprisingly will follow up and back you up, especially in this career field, like math and algebra and those things that, people don't really like to pay attention to. But I would really tell myself to kind of like put in the effort because I'm building my foundation young so that I can set myself up for a successful platform as I grow older.
Thank you. That was some really good advice, especially for high school students. There's so much pressure about, well, what are you going to do next? It's supposed to feel like you have to have all this figured out. And then sometimes you don't. Like you mentioned, you spent 10 years in the military. So you had some time to really figure out what you wanted to do. And then when you did, you just went forward. So that's some really great advice. So let's see. So outside of work, what are some of your hobbies and interests that you enjoy?
I really like to spend time with my family. I have 3 kids. I do audio engineering and also software engineering and coding outside of here. So a lot of like video game development, Swift UI, app development. So I guess I'm kind of a brainiac when it comes to stuff, especially I think HVAC put me in that situation where I enjoy numbers in a way, I guess. But it really kind of extends your knowledge across multiple things. Also, I like to just honestly to continue learning even on my off time because again, it sets up a platform for me more in the future, if not excelling everybody else around me. So overall, music, video games, family, I guess it's just like the normal everyday, enjoyments.
Good. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much, Ken, today for sharing your story and giving us some insight about your industry in HVAC. And thank you so much for our viewers for joining us today for Career Spotlight. Remember, these interviews are ways to explore different paths and discover opportunities available right here in Genesee County. So, for more spotlights, please visit our website at Educate Flint Genesee. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.